Hi, and welcome to E.P.I.C, another podcast episode brought to you from With Purpose. My name is Chris, and I am the owner as well as lead business strategist. Our special guest today is Russ Hermann, owner and manager of Advanced Development and Building Services. Russ, it is such a pleasure to have you on. How are you, sir?
Great. Chris, I'm great. Thank you for having me on today.
I have been waiting for weeks to do this with you. I think you are a great guy. I know you're a great guy. I think you're a guy of integrity, and what you do and what you bring to not only your customers, but to a community is something exciting to talk about today. So I'm glad you're on. And why don't you start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, for starters, I grew up here in Arizona, Phoenix area. I'm a native. Father of four. I have a blended family of 8. We only have one left in the nest, but pretty much love the outdoors and bountiful and beautiful environment that God's created for us. I have 2 Australian Shepherds, have a passion for creating various things, and that's what kind of led me into the profession that I'm in now, and I'm blessed. I get to really do what I enjoy every day. It makes it not like work, and it makes it more like I get to go and have fun every day, which makes it awesome.
Yeah, very good. So just kind of going on along the theme of telling us a little bit about yourself. So between a room, a desk, or your vehicle, which one would you clean first and why?
That took a little bit of thought. My go-to on that one was the desk was first, the room was second, and the car was third. And it's kind of I'm a task-oriented taskmaster and needing to get things done, and I want to make sure that I'm functional on the operations side, business side, keeping things moving so that I can support the room and the car. And at the end of the day, if my environment that I spend a lot of time in is clean, the room will be next, and then the car that falls into third place.
Okay, I like it. And I really like the comment where the desk, because it supports the other 2 things. That's brilliant. So do you have a favorite word or catchphrase that you like to use? And if so, why?
Well, I have a made-up word, and it's called perseverance. And I do that a lot. My team gives me a lot of grief about it because I have fun with words, and I tend to make some up. In the construction industry, sometimes we have our own dictionary, but it's really a combination of 2 words, if you would. And the first is persistence, and the other one is perseverance. And those 2 have been kind of a driving stable for me, really since I was in college.
I like it. I like it. And so say it one more time.
Perseverance.
Perseverance. All right. So if because of this podcast, if you hear other people using that word, you know that you are a trendsetter, Russ.
I'll take it. And it's a change. It's a life changer, that word right there.
I like it. All right. So you kind of alluded to it just in your previous answer. So tell us a little bit about your business. Kind of how did you get into it? How long have you been into it? Your why, your purpose of doing it, and things like that.
Well, that's easy. We are a full service general contractor. We are a residential and commercial based contractor. We really specialize in the 4 R's, wherein we do remodels, restorations, reconstruction, and we do a lot of renovating at the same time. And all of that applies to either commercial environments or residential environments. We also offer, which supplements and makes us more effective in doing those other that I had mentioned, we also offer custom stone fabrication of countertops, whether it's quartz or granite or quartzite. And then lastly, we do landscape maintenance, which is, again, another service that we offer to our customers. And sometimes we find a customer, next thing you know, we're doing all of them for them, which is kind of exciting.
So what's the difference between, I think you said renovation and reconstruction? What's the difference between the 2?
Well, reconstruction results from a loss. basically something either has mold, asbestos, water damage, or fire. And reconstruction is putting it back to pre-loss condition. We specialize in working with insurance carriers, with homeowners, acting as their advocate to help make sure that their scopes are properly completed and the loss is properly estimated, so that they get everything that they are due in order to allow us to properly reconstruct and put their home or their business back together to equal or better than that pre-loss condition. And with our experience that we bring to the table in that venue, we really make a difference for folks. And the other is more in the realm of updating and just taking something that it is today and improving its fit and finish to be more current with today's finishes or standards, so to speak.
Okay. And that's where the remodel is then?
Remodel is when we actually take it to another level and we change it beyond just updating finishes and renovating. It's when we actually literally change the environment by moving walls or changing the entire functionality of a space.
Okay. All right. So, so that's a little bit about your business. How did you get into it? And you've been in it for quite some time, haven't you?
Well, I have. I'm an old framing carpenter by trade. It takes me back to the early '80s. But I've been in the construction industry since then, and really, I'm passionate about building things, and have always been interested in creating things and making things. Even when I was a kid, I used to do forts, and there was always something going on in the shop or the garage, and so really, by creating things, we're changing things, and at the end of the day, it leads right into construction and servicing people, making people happy, because we're making things better.
I like it. I like it. So did you have the best forts around?
I did. Well, I'd like to think so, but I know some of my other close friends would probably argue otherwise. But hey.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So how long has your business been around?
Well, Advanced Development Building Services, we have been around since 2008. Prior to that, we were actually a home builder developer, and so a lot of that experience is what helps bolster up our skill sets and our toolbox for making us so effective at what we do today.
Okay. So 2008, there was something significant around 2008 that we all know, but your business seemed to be staying, or you started it then and kept it alive. That's pretty remarkable.
We did, and we really, it's the little things, and we did all the little things, and we tried to be consistent with them, and continue to improve how we did the little things, and that's where we really came out of the flames as a handyman company, and we focused as a general contractor on doing the small jobs, and the little ones led to the bigger ones, and we still do the little ones. We'll always do small jobs for people. We even took it to another level and rebranded part of our division, and that is Handyman Solution, where we focus on the small jobs. And we have all different little business models set up where we're under Advanced Development of Building Services with the licensing and the insurance and everything else. People can have the confidence that we'll take care of their small jobs as well.
That's amazing. So you started off with a little seed and it's grown into this big, huge vineyard for you.
Well, vineyard maybe not. I'd say we're kind of like a little garden out back, but we're watering it every day and trying to fertilize it properly, and not with bad stuff, but with the good stuff, and environmentally friendly, of course, and really hoping that our efforts and fruits really pay off.
Well, very good. I think it's going to. I mean, most businesses, especially during that time frame, are not where they would probably want to be, and yet here you are sharing with us a little bit of that. And I want to tap into that, Russ. So, what are some things throughout your career, throughout your life, that you have learned from about being a business owner, or from being a business owner?
Well, that's a great question, and it takes some thought. And really, the bottom line is, it was, for me, it was about finding a need and recreating ourself, myself, my history, our experiences, and applying it to that need and creating a solution for those folks. And at the same time, being able to, in doing that, provide a really differentiated quality product service, um, combined with another layer, which is diversification. And my thoughts are by diversifying, it allows us to be more resilient in any type of an economy, because we have different legs that if one's not busy at a given time, the other ones hopefully are. And then certainly the big takeaway has been, after the downturn in '08, was to really focus on leading with revenue, with decision making that we do for the business.
Okay. You know, it's really interesting. I just had a conversation with somebody this morning about diversifying within a business. Is that something that you, and I know you can't speak to all industries, but it's something that has paid off for you. Do you think that's something that most businesses probably should at least look into?
Certainly. It's kind of like any product. I think it takes it down to the basic bare root of when someone develops a product and they patent it and they figure out, okay, we've got this product. Now it's how can we repackage it, change it just a little bit, call it something else, and market it to differently. And what we've done with advanced development of building services, and the name was a little omnibus when we started, because after 2008 we really didn't know, Chris, what we were going to be doing when the dust settled. So we started out doing small jobs, and then one thing led to another, and as people learned what we were doing, we found ourselves being called out to do, because of our skill sets, commercial building, tenant improvements, build out, space conversions. We got called out to do large renovations, small renovations, structural changes because of our framing background and our construction background. And one thing led to another. So we decided that, as we were being called upon by the insurance industry and carriers and homeowners, to help with their losses, we found ourselves needing to basically create different brands within divisions within our company, such that we can market to those specific areas, i.e. Restoration work with advanced fire and water restoration, handyman work with handyman solutions. Our countertop solutions for all of our kitchens and baths were the fastest to respond with templating and installing new tops when we put cabinets in, and we're not holding up our projects, we're completing them through our advanced countertop solutions. And then environmental and landscape maintenance. When we need extra resources, even on our construction projects, say on demo, we can call the landscape guys in and they'll come over with the trucks and extra manpower to help solve solutions on demoing and doing things more quickly. It's really given us the tools to be a better contractor and be more responsive and be able to handle more things more nimbly, and at the same time continue to expand our different legs on which we're building a broader foundation for our company in different types of economies.
That's great. So from what I hear you saying in general forms is, you've learned to grow as opportunities have presented themselves to you.
We have, with that takes risks. It comes with risk, and that's where the steps at a time, getting the foundation built, creating our branding, creating our outreach, leveraging into our existing customers, which we're so blessed for, because we go out to do a backsplash installation or something, and then they learn that we can also do new countertops, because now it doesn't quite go with what they had in mind. Now we can solve that problem for them too. Or if they want us to put lights in the kitchen, next thing you know, we can take care of their kitchen remodel. Or put a bathroom in a school because they want another bathroom on the first floor, and we went in there to do some general maintenance, and we can turnkey that whole other solution for them at the same time.
Wow, that's great. So with all that growth, what is one thing you know now that you wish you had known when you started?
That is an easy question for me. If I go back to before you had, handheld personal data devices, PDAs, before we had, the types of phones, before we had cellular phones. And the one thing that I think in general back in the day, and I've got a lot of homes that we built, a lot of projects that we did, and a lot of contacts. And the one thing that certainly I wish I'd dealt with and handled a lot more differently was the database and the understanding the value of those contacts and those people. And if I'd have had their names, numbers, addresses, and contact information to add to what I currently have, and had the ability to keep in touch with them back then through now, it would be one more level of game changer.
I like that. And I think that that's one of the key foundational things that especially brand new businesses miss out on. So let me ask you this. So why your business? What separates your business from others in the industry?
Well, we're better. No, honestly, the real basis behind that, and I'm obviously biased, but I believe in our team. I think we're really special because we are full service. We're in-house, our in-house teams and our crews, and the way that we can react, handle, respond to our construction projects. We focus more on smaller jobs, therefore we're more nimble. We can get in quicker, we can get started more quickly. We can respond to their needs faster. I think that is a huge game changer for us compared to the competition, in addition to the fact that we're very diversified and we can handle quite a broad breadth of their various needs that they may have. The diversity is only part of it. We're also very professional. I like to put us in a different level because of our experience. We're a certified firm with the IICRC for fire and water restoration. We're E.P.I.C certified firm for lead safe construction practices. We're a BBB accredited business. We belong to ALCA, the Landscaper Contractors Association, and AICA, which is Arizona Insurance Claims Association. We give back to the community too. We are a steering committee member for WestMet, which is a trade school for the youngsters in high school that are looking to get into the industry. We want to help them figure out their career paths, help them figure out and see if construction is a good fit for them and how we might lead with training and shadowing and other activities that we participate in for the youngsters. It's about something larger than what we do for us, but the bottom line is it's the customer, and we're passionate about that experience and their journey with us to make it as fulfilling it and satisfying their needs.
Yeah, that's great. And that's what I really want the listeners to hear is that you represent a company that is holistic in nature. You're out there improving projects, you're out there creating projects, you're out there empowering people through your service in the community as being a steering committee member. So on behalf of a grateful community, thank you so much for what you're doing. What is one thing that people seem to misunderstand about your industry?
Well, once again, I had an experience with this answer this morning. For starters, and hopefully you can appreciate, not all contractors are created equal. And what I mean by that is, if someone calls themselves a contractor, they may not be. They might not be licensed, bonded, and insured. They might not have the experience to really do what they're doing but they're marketing and selling something that they're not. And the consumer is none the wiser, unfortunately, until they run into a problem. And then it's too late. There's a lot of really good contractors out there, and we encourage the competition when those opportunities arise. And the biggest thing that I see is that customers, because of that lack of knowledge and experience with what we do day in and day out, they generally don't qualify the scopes of the bids or what they're actually buying well enough between the different people that are giving them prices. We have, Chris, we've got so much experience. When we put together a quote, we don't miss anything. And consequently, the other guys, unfortunately, we find that to be more the case. And what ends up happening then is then the customer ends up getting change ordered and paying more at the end of the day than what our original quote might have been as compared to the finished product. Because we go into it with our eyes open and we draw from experience when we put together a quote, and we live to the quotes that we give and the promises that we make to our customers.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that what you just shared should be applicable to all different types of businesses across all industries. That integrity's got to be there. And if we can present ourselves the right way the first time, it really does save some headaches as well as money for our clients in the long run. So thank you for sharing that. All right, so let's get a little personal here for a moment. If there was a book to be written about you, Russ, what would the title be?
Oh my goodness. Jimmy, I would say the title would be Building with Passion.
Okay.
It would be Chris, it'd be a gripping and intriguing story of a life path journey to advanced development of building services. And I think as part of that, it would take you down the path of our background, which includes having developed over 58 single-family communities here in the Valley.
Wow.
Building over 1,200 production homes in the Valley, having completed over 30 custom ground-up builds and over 80,000 square feet of commercial improvements, and to date over 1,500 kitchens and bathrooms.
Wow.
Improvements. Not to mention all the small jobs between residential, commercial, building maintenance type jobs, which are very, very small, but again, we're blessed and are grateful for those. Not to mention not all of those, but many of them are jobs that we install granite and quartz tops in as a advanced development services, our division of advanced countertop solutions. So I think that book would be riveting with opportunities for learning and the experiences and setbacks and trials and successes of how we completed all those various projects, and hopefully a lot of takeaways that would be beneficial to somebody had that book ever been written.
So Russ, I'm going to have a little fun here with you for a moment. If you choose not to answer, I'm okay with that. So since it's going to be a riveting book and it's gripping, this book is going to be made for the movies. Who would you play you?
Who would play me? You know, I'm a Kevin Costner guy.
Okay. I can see that happening. Kevin Costner. Okay, I like it. So what would be the best compliment you've ever received?
You know, that is a hard one. That's a hard one because we get a lot of compliments, and it's, you know, geez, that looks great, or man, that looks better than I thought it was going to look, or how'd you do that? You guys are amazing. Those are the things that we hear all the time that we really kind of unfortunately need to focus more on and appreciate more. But the lesser expected compliments are the ones that probably make the biggest difference to me. And I've got this one instance that comes to mind. I was out on an insurance loss job. I was meeting another water mitigation contractor and a adjuster out on site to meet with a couple that they were in their late 70s, great folks, and they were being denied on a part of their floor that clearly to me was a result of the loss. The damage was a result of the water that had gotten through their floor. And I was able to help them understand. I was able to help them understand through building science exactly how that water got in there and what happened and caused that to happen and create that damage in that spot. And when I finished explaining it and walking the adjuster through it, he acknowledged that, yes, that makes sense, and I understand what you're talking about, and yes, we'll include replacing the tile in the predominance of their home. When I left the meeting early because they were finishing it up, and the lady almost chased me down to the front porch when I was leaving, and she asked me to come back and shake her hand, and she said, "Thanks for making a difference." And I'll never forget that. That's what we do.
Yeah. That's impactful. That's powerful. Thanks for making a difference. Few subtle words. Thank you. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Thank you for, on behalf of a community, for making a difference. You are changing people's lives. One remodel at a time, one restoration at a time, and the list goes on. As we wrap up, Russ, what are just a couple things in summary that you want our listeners to know?
Well, it's simple. If you have a construction need, if you've had a loss, if you need to get your place fixed, if you want to change it, we're here to help. And no job is too small. And if it's too large, we'll certainly tell you. But if you even have a question about something, give us a call. I'd be happy to help. Sometimes we can answer a lot of stuff we do for realtors all the time with just a phone call and some pictures. But phone number 602-753-0863. And I'll give you a website here in a little bit, and as well our Facebook information. And I'll tell you, we're here to help. If you have a question, it's all about making a difference.
Very good. Well, why don't you go and give us that information now, your Facebook, website, anything else?
Our website address is, and it's a 6-letter ADV, Adam Dog Victor, BLD.com, Bravo Lima Delta.com, ADVBLD.com. And our Facebook is even easier. It's Advanced Development and Building Services, LLC. And our office number again is 602-753-0863. And on our website, there are our division page links as well for landscaping and for countertops and fire and water restoration. And we have lots of photos. We have some reviews. We welcome someone to look at us, check us out, ask for testimonials. We try and be as transparent as we can. It's the only way.
Yeah, very good. Well, Russ, pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you so much for what you've brought to us in these few moments with our listeners, and for what you bring to me. I've known you for a little bit now, and I appreciate who you are as a man of integrity. And I'm just going to say to our listeners, this guy is the real deal. He knows what he knows. He says the truth. And when he talks about being open and transparent, that's what you're going to get. So, Russ, thank you very much for being a part of this podcast.
Chris, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity and to participate with you on this today. Thanks again for that.
You are welcome. Well, thanks everybody for listening to E.P.I.C, another podcast brought to you from With Purpose. My name is Chris, and I am the owner of With Purpose, as well as the lead business strategist. I hope you have a great day. And as I always say, whatever you do, think, or say, do it with purpose.
Thank you for listening to the Elite Professionals in Coaching podcast. If you want to stay in the forefront with business strategies and ideas, leadership conversations, tips, and empowerment, be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, and then share with your friends and fellow business owners. For more information about With Purpose and their services, visit www.withpurposellc.com.